Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll share with you how to draft and cut a corset with QueenAnn neckline. In this video, you will learn corset in detail on how to draft 2-part corset, 3-part corset with QueenAnn neckline. It's going to be beginners friendly tutorial. So if you're interested in all of this, please come with me and let's get started. So I'll place my tape from this line, which is the shoulder line. Then I'll mark the shoulder to bust measurement, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist. After that, I'll draw a straight line across this measurement. When I'm drawing my lines, I'll make sure they are straight. This is the bust line, the under bust line, and also the waistline, which is our half length. On this bust line now, take my bust bar measurement of 4 inches on the under bust and also on the waist. Then I'll draw a straight line across to connect it. After that, the next thing I'll do, I'll take my bust radius. In order to do that, I'll measure the distance from my bust to my under bust, then I'll mark it around. So I got 3 inches. So I'm going to place my tape on this bust line now at the bust span measurement. Then I'll mark 3 inches all around. Now that I'm done with that, I'll place my tape on the shoulder line and mark my shoulder measurement of 8 inches. Then I'll mark a basic neck width for now of 3 inches. Then I'll come to the shoulder measurement and come down by 1 inch. From that 1 inch, I'll also come down by 8 inches. That's my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll connect from that neck width to my shoulder slant, from my shoulder slant to my armhole depth. Before I connect, I'll place my tape this way and mark and confirm that it's 8 inches. Then I'll go ahead and connect it. Then I'll also draw a straight line under this 8 inches depth. This straight line now will serve as my chest line. I'll go ahead now and place my tape on my shoulder slant and mark the midpoint. Then I'll connect from the midpoint down to my dart line. After that is done, I'll come to the chest line and impute my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'll come to this armhole depth and look for the midpoint. I'll mark the midpoint, and at that midpoint, I'll go in by 0.5. Then I'll connect from my shoulder slant to that 0.5, from 0.5 down to my chest line. At this under bust, I will come out by 1 inch at the side front and also go in by 1 inch at the center front. Once that is done, I'll connect from the under bust down to the waist on each side of the line. Once I'm done with that, I'll come to this circle around the dart line up here. Then I'll come out 0.75 on each side of the line. Now, if you are drafting for a big bust, at the under bust, you distribute 2.5 inches. Then, if you are for the small bust, you distribute 2 inches. Now, if you are for the big bust at the up, you distribute 2 inches. Then, if you have the small bust, you distribute 1.5. So on this line, I'll come out 0.75. I'll mark the 0.75. Then at this bust line, I'll come down by 0.5 and I'll also go up by 0.5. Once that is done, I'll use the French curve to connect from that 0.5 down to the 1 inch this way. Then I'll also do the same thing at the side front. After that, I'll connect this 0.75 down to the 0.5 inch above the bust line. Once that is done, I'll come down from the chest line by 0.5 inch, and at that 0.5 inch, I'll go in by 0.5. Then I'll connect it this way. After that, I'll use the French curve to connect the under bust up to that 0.5 inch this way. Once that is done, I'll come to this armhole and look for the midpoint of the armhole. I got about 1 inch, midpoint 0.5. Then I'll connect from the under bust all the way to that midpoint. The next thing I'll do now is to close up my cup. So I'm going to connect from here to the armhole. Then from the second dart leg down to that 0.5 inch, I came down at the chest line. I hope you like what you see. If you're trying to draft a 2-part corset, this is basically how to get your cup. And if I'm trying to draft a 3-part corset, I'll place my tape from the chest line and come down by 2.5 inches. Then I'll come to this side also and come down by 2.5. I will then connect from the 2.5 below the chest line to the 0.5 above the bust line. I hope you understand what I'm saying, but if you don't understand, you can just watch how I connect it. And if you've watched this point, thank you very much. Please don't forget to drop a heart for me on the comment section. Let me know you watched this point. And hit the subscribe button. hit the like button so that someone else can benefit from this video. And my 3-part corset is ready. This is the center front, this is the side front, and I'm also going to place my arrow pointing towards each other this way. The next thing I'll do now is to drop the neckline. I'll come to this cup here, and from this armhole depth I'll come out by 2 inches. Then I'll come to the shoulder line and mark my neck width of 4 inches. Then I'll connect from that 2 inches up to that 4 inches. Now this is one way of getting a QueenAnn neckline, but me, I want my neckline to be curvy, so I'm going to use my French curve and connect it this way. Please tell me in the comment section which you prefer. Is it the straight line or the curvy line? So the next thing I'll do now is to impute my body's measurement. I'll replace the dart I took at the chest line. Also come to the under bust and impute my under bust measurement divided by 4. I'll replace the dart allowance and also add 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. Then I'll do the same thing on the waist. I'll impute the round waist measurement divided by 4, replace the dart allowance I took, and also impute 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. Once I'm done with all of that, I'll connect all the measurements. Please, if you've not subscribed yet, subscribe and support your girl. I am super grateful in advance. Now, if you want a box for your waistline, you're going to come down by 5 inches. This my pattern is not long enough, but I'm going to use what I have to show you. So I'm going to connect from my waistline measurement down to this 5 inches to create my box. So I'm going to cut it out now for you to see what it looks like. If you want to use a box, you can cut from the backs, but I'm going to cut out the backs because I don't need the backs. I just want it to be half cut, so I'm going to cut it out now. Please pay attention to how I cut it because the cutting part is almost as important as the drafting part. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial so far. If you have, please don't forget to share to your sewing friends. And this is what it looks like after cutting. This is what a 2-part corset look like. So I'm going to use this other one now to show you an illustration of a 3-part corset. So I'll cut it open from that line this way, and this 2 at the top. Now I'm going to use tape to join it together, trace it out on a new paper and make it one piece. And after tracing it out, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to cut it out now, and here you have it. I have my 3-part corset. This back pattern, I will come down by 1 inch and draw a straight line across this 1 inch. This line will serve as the shoulder line and also the starting line. Now at the edge here, I'm going to come out by 1 inch. This is going to serve as the zipper allowance. Then I'll draw a straight line across this zipper allowance. So I'm just going to label it zipper allowance now. So any measurement I impute now is going to be from this line. Now on this shoulder line, I'm going to impute the shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 8 inches. Then I'll place my tape from that shoulder line and mark the bust, the under bust, and also the half length. Then I'll draw a straight line on each of these measurements. When you are making your lines, please make sure that it is straight. So after that, now I'm just going to label these lines for us to indicate it. This is the bust line, the under bust, and the half length. Now if you remember, I marked the 8 inches for the shoulder, so I'm just going to mark a basic neckline of 3 inches for now. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I'll connect from that 1 inch to the 3 inches neckline. Then I'll place my tape from the shoulder slope and come down by 8 inches for the armhole line. I'll measure across also this way to confirm that that is 8 inches, so I'll achieve a straight line. Now I'll draw a straight line under this 8 inches depth to mark the chest line. Now I'll place my tape on my armhole depth to mark the midpoint of the armhole. Then I'll place my tape across the chest line to mark the bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'll connect from that midpoint down to that chest line measurement. Now I'll come to my bust line and mark 4 inches for my nipple to nipple measurement. Then I'll do the same thing on the under bust and also on the waistline. Then I'll draw a straight line to connect it. I'll extend this line now to the chest line. Then I'll take 0.5 inch on each side of this dart line. Then I'll connect it up to the chest line this way. So the next thing I'll do, I'll come to the shoulder line and mark the same neck width as the front, which is 4 inches. Sorry, I didn't know this part was not showing. So then I'll come down by 2 inches for the neck depth. Then I'll connect from that neck width to the neck depth. Once I'm done with the neckline, I'll come down by 1.5 inch from the neck depth. Then I'll also come to the chest line and come out by 2.5 inches. Then I'll connect from that 1.5 to the 2.5 inches, creating a nice keyhole for my back bodice. Now, this is one way of getting a yoke. If you like, you come up by 1.5 inch from the chest line and create a slanted line this way to create your yoke. Now, it all depends on what you want and what you want to achieve. The next thing I'll do now is to impute the round bodice measurement. If you remember, on the chest line, I already impute the bust measurement divided by 4. So I'll come to the under bust and impute the measurement. I'll impute the measurements divided by 4 and replace that allowance of 1 inch, and also come to the half length and do the same thing. Once I'm done with all of that, I will add 1.5 inch for sewing allowance, just like I did for the front bodice. So I'll add 1.5 inch on the chest line, the bust, the under bust, and also on the waistline. Then I'll connect all the measurement. As you can see, our back bodice is turning out really fine. If you follow every step I've showed you from the beginning to the end, you achieve the same result. And if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the like button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I'd like to know, how do you like the yoke? Is it the one on the straight line on the chest line or the slanted one? In order to eliminate zipper bulge, I'll come out by 0.5 inch from the edge of the pattern. Then I'll extend it all the way. So this is basically all on how to draft the back bodice. I have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a back bodice for corset with loop at the back. So this one is for the one with zipper. If you want the one with loop, I'll drop a link for you on the description box so that you can watch the full tutorial. Please pay attention on how I cut it so that you will know how to cut yours. So this is all what we've worked on today: the back bodice, the 2-part corset and 3-part corset. Please, if you've watched to this point, thank you very much. Drop a heart for me on the comment section. Let me know you've watched to this point. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. See you in my next video.